the belief, attitude, and values, as we might be seeing very soon, are very, very related. So first and foremost, we have to know that your values are determined by what you believe in. And earlier I was telling you that if you believe in hard work, that will determine the value that you put on hard work. If you believe in a family system where you have your your wife and your children, that will tell in terms of your attitude towards same-sex marriage and so on and so forth. So what you believe in tend to influence your values. Then your values and belief determine your attitude. Okay, so your belief will determine your values, and the two together will determine your attitude. Okay. What we have to know is that beliefs are based on knowledge or facts. So whatever you believe right now, some way, somehow, is based on some knowledge that you had somewhere. It's actually based on some facts or some information that you've received somewhere. So it is very, very important that we pay attention to where we receive information, where we receive knowledge. Okay, because ultimately it will influence our belief system. Our belief system will influence our values, and our values will determine the type of attitude that we pick up. All right. So our beliefs are based on knowledge or facts, and we have to pay attention to that. Mami Sewa, your hand is up.
Prof, please, where will you put perception? Is perception knowledge?
Oh, so perception is like your view of things. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So your perception will also be based on your, say, your knowledge. Are you asking whether it's the same as knowledge?
No, I'm saying that where will you put it?
Yes. So your perception most of the time is also influenced by the sort of information that you have. It's almost like your belief system, right? And so it's based on the information that you've acquired and the facts that you've received over the period. That influences your perception, just like the belief system.
Okay.
Yes. So the point I want to establish from this intro is that knowing that our beliefs are influenced by our knowledge or the facts that we receive, it is important to pay attention to the kind of knowledge that we receive, whether it's in terms of the books that we read, either the church that we go to or the mosques that we go to. It is very, very important because those kinds of knowledge and facts tends to influence our beliefs. Okay. So beliefs are ideas or principles that people hold to be true and hence dear to them. Once you come to believe something, it is a principle or an idea that you tend to hold very dear. All right. And sometimes, depending upon your religion and orientation, you are prepared to kill other people if they joke with your beliefs. So we have to know that about beliefs as well. Some beliefs are backed by facts, whilst others are not. That is another important thing we have to know about belief. So sometimes somebody believes in something, they cannot justify it. From the introduction, we spoke about the realm of philosophy, where it's normally difficult, all right, to be able to justify certain things. So beliefs could be justified by facts. Others cannot be justified by facts, all right. One belief system we've had over the years is our belief in the existence of ghosts. And in all my classes, I've been trying to find out whether there's somebody in the class who has ever seen a ghost before. So I want to find out from you guys, anybody who has seen a ghost before? Mami Sewa, have you seen a ghost before? Anybody in the class who have seen a ghost before?
No, Prof, no, but we perceive.
Idris.
Yes,
Idris, you've seen one before? Idris, answer.
Prof, Prof, I the same perception when we're growing. So one day, when we're growing as young kids, around the age of 17, 18, that's immediately after the secondary school, we're traveling somewhere at midnight, 1 a.m. Then the shortest route to the place was the public cemetery. So we had fear and we had to contemplate whether to pass there or not. Then the grown-up amount said, oh, let's go. We have never killed before, so no ghost will come and hurt us. So when we got there, all of us were frightened. We walked through the cemetery for like 10, 15 minutes. We've not seen anything.
Okay.
Nothing. And
Okay.
then we went. When I lost my father some time ago, I wanted to see if I'll see the ghost because I was close with my father. I've never seen the ghost. The only thing I came close was some dreams. But aside that, I don't think I believe in the ghost issue again.
Okay. What about dwarfs? Anybody who have seen a dwarf in Excellent? Osman or Idris, have you seen a dwarf before?
Prof, I have not seen one before. But then
I
when
want
we were
those who have seen it. Anybody in the class who have seen a dwarf before?
Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Oh,
Speaking.
Kabiru speaking.
Okay, Kabiru.
From where I come from, I know they exist.
I'm not saying knowing. Have you seen some before?
They're physical.
Yes.
Feely.
I won't say, but I saw a shadow.
Ah, what do you mean by a shadow? Dwarf nice.
Okay, let me break it down like.
Yeah, break it down.
I had a friend. I still have a friend. It's a long time when we completed secondary school. So normally I visit the house when they are in the Eastern region. So I visit the house more often. So one day I went there after secondary school. Then I asked about my friend. They said, oh, they are in the room with the mother. You can enter there. And I said, no, I know the kind of work the mother does. So me, I normally don't go near. I'm afraid of the work the mother does. They said, no. Oh, it's all the family sitting there. So you can actually go and sit. Indeed, that was several years ago. I entered and the mother still works with them. I entered the room. I saw the mother sitting there. The mother also knows me. She mentioned my name. How are you? Have you come to check on your friend? I said, yes. I have come to check on my friend. Okay, sit down. There is oh, don't panic. The reason why she said don't panic, she was sitting in there. And there was a white veil. You could see clearly where the woman is sitting. And two strange creatures standing in there, moving all along. You can see it. So for me, no, it's not Philip, but I saw it. I saw it, yes. Okay. I saw and the woman is still there. She's working with them. I go there normally. I see it.
Kabiru, can you organize an excursion for it?
Oh, they are there. So, when you enter especially when you enter the Zongo communities, there are some people who works with them.
Okay, so
they are there. Naturally, they are there. Yeah, they are there.
Okay.
This one is not hearsay. They are there.
So you've seen some before, but let's continue.
Yes.
But let's continue. So for 90% of us, we might not see a ghost before, we might not see a dwarf before, but somehow we believe that they do exist, right? So it's just a belief for most of us because we don't have any facts about it, but we do believe that. Okay, so that is basically the point I'm trying to establish, that there are some beliefs that could be factual in terms of having some evidence to support. There are others that we've only heard about they've been talked about and so on and so forth. Okay. So beliefs supported by evidence are called justified beliefs. So once you have a belief system and you can support it, like Kabiru is trying to justify his sight of dwarfs, then it can be called justified beliefs. Okay. What it means is that once you cannot support your belief with evidence, it is not a justified beliefs. Under that context, we can have two types. We have direct judgments. They are based on our sense perception. So like Kabiru just explained his experience, his perception or his view about dwarfs will be different from the rest of us, because in his case, it's not just about anybody saying it. He has had some form of experience with them. And that is a sense. His eyes have seen it. He has somehow perceived it physically. And that changes his beliefs about this supernatural thing than some of us that have never tasted or seen any of these things before. Okay, so that is direct judgment. All right, then we have what is known as intuitive or derived judgments, where we now rely on some existing body of knowledge to form our belief. So most of the time, if you take more religious books, if you pick the Bible, and so on and so forth, most of the time you'll be telling other people are things that were written in the Bible. God can raise the dead, God can heal the sick, and so on and so forth. So your belief based on what is written or existing knowledge is what is known as intuitive or derived judgment. And it's not something that has happened to you. Okay. Once personally you have been healed through the prayers of, say, a pastor or another believer, that kind of belief will move from intuitive or derived judgment to direct judgment. This time around, it is not based on an existing knowledge, but it's based on your own sense perception, based on your experience, as we've seen in the case of Kabir. Okay. So fundamentally, in this slides, we learn that beliefs are based on knowledge and facts. We need to be mindful where we get our knowledge and facts from. Okay. Types of beliefs. So there are two major types of beliefs. We have what is known as the core beliefs, and we have dispositional beliefs. So core beliefs are beliefs that people hold, and they are difficult to change. It's the dispositional ones that are changeable depending upon circumstances. All right. And I always say that for those of us that are very religious, after this class, you need to be mindful of that type of behavior where you see any other person different from your belief system to be a demon or somebody very bad. Because we have core beliefs. And most of the time it's coming from, say, where you were raised or where you're coming from. All right. If you're a Christian, there is 90 to 95% chance that if you were born in Saudi Arabia, you will have been a Muslim by now, or any of the Islamic countries. All right. If you are also a Muslim, there is a greater chance that if you were born in a very Christian-dominated country, you could have been a Christian, and any other belief at all that you'll be thinking about. So to get somebody to move from, say, Islam or from being a Muslim to a Christian, it's not a joke, all right? Or to get somebody from another region to another, it's not a joke, because we have core beliefs. It is not something that just happened overnight. Oh, I don't want to be that, and now I'm now this, okay? So we need to be empathetic when dealing with other people, because some beliefs are almost unchangeable. It will take divine intervention. All right. Those beliefs are different from the dispositional ones. Let's move to the 4 contemporary approach to beliefs. How do we deal with beliefs? How do we approach beliefs? So the first one is that our common sense understanding of belief is correct. So whatever we believe now, there might be whatever we believe, for example, in the existence of God. It might be that we are right, okay? And that will help in the way that we live and deal with things and so on and so forth. It's a belief, but it's possible that later some scientific endeavor will actually prove the existence of God. As at this time, we're using logic, we're using aesthetic and all the other dimensions of philosophy to be able to establish something that we've, or someone that we've not seen before. But the first way approach is that this common sense understanding of our belief in God could be correct. The second approach is look at it this way. Common sense understanding of the belief may not be entirely correct, but it is close enough to make some useful predictions. Okay, so somebody, when he was trying to justify about the existence of God, was talking about day and nights and the nature of things, kind of help him to tell that there could be God somewhere. All right. So basically, the second point is that if even we are not entirely right, but we are able to make sense out of life, because there are things that happen, other than attributing it to a supernatural, it will be very difficult to use your natural mind to be able to understand why whatever happened. All right. So it is helpful, even if it is not entirely correct, it could help in some useful predictions. And I'm just using this God thing because it is something that we can relate with in terms of an example, all right? It could be any other example at all. Then common sense understanding of belief is entirely wrong and will be completely superseded by a radically different theory. So it could be that we are wrong. All those that have faith in God is totally wrong. This world came into existence as a result of some big bang that happened some time ago. And so that theory will come to overcome whatever the Genesis is talking about as far as the creation is concerned. So it could also be that we are entirely wrong as far as our belief in God is concerned. Okay. Then the last approach to see a belief system is that common sense understanding of the belief is entirely wrong, as we've established in the third one. However, treating people, animals, and even computers as if they had beliefs is often a successful strategy. Okay. So still, our belief will help us to relate with other living beings and even living things better if we assume there is some belief in something. Okay, so these are the 4 ways by which we can deal with a belief system or a belief that we have. Okay, let's move to formation of beliefs. Very related to the first slides. Beliefs come out of the confidence in the spoken words of people we respect. This type of belief is commentary belief. If you remember, in our first slide, we said that our belief comes from knowledge and facts. Okay. And I was cautioning us to be mindful of where we get our knowledge or our facts from, because we just learned that it affects our beliefs. Okay. So what this point is still buttressing is that what people that we trust in tells us tend to influence our belief. Okay. And here religious body comes to mind, especially for the ladies. They go to church, whatever their pastor says. Sometimes it kicks against common sense. It will bring problem at home, but they don't care. Once it's their pastor that is saying it, then that is it. It must be God speaking to them. Okay, so it's important for us to note that spoken words from people that we respect can influence our belief system. Okay. Next point says, we have a belief from childhood about the existence of ghosts or supernatural phenomenon. They may be real or not. This type of belief is called existential belief. So by mere existence, there are things that we've heard that have become part of our belief system. Okay, so issues about ghosts, issues about dwarfs. I'm very certain that about 90 to 95 people on this earth will die without ever seeing these creatures or beings. And yet, right from birth, you are made to believe that these things exist. Okay, so we have belief systems that will not come from the commentary of people that we respect, but could just come because we are born among people that already have some belief systems and we want us to share in those belief systems. Beliefs can be adopted from our role models, very close to point 1 or the earlier one. So be mindful of your role models. I'm always cautious. It is important to have mentors, but my experience have shown that things are not just as we see physically, right? So it's very, very important that in choosing mentors, you know people through and through before aligning with them, okay? So your role models, what they do beyond the office, and so on and so forth, are things that you might not have any appreciation about or understanding. So your role models can affect your beliefs. So be careful people that you pick as role models. In our formative years, somebody else's belief may be internalized. So it's just like the existential belief. Okay. So I explained that in core beliefs as well. So for example, the religious beliefs of your parents, you are more likely to become that. If they are Muslims, higher chance that you'll be a Muslim. If they are Christians, you have the higher chance of becoming a Christian. So people at your formative age can push their belief systems to you. Then we have sudden changes in life may also result in new beliefs. Okay, we have people very committed, audacious Christians that travel to developed countries and they don't want to even want to go to church again. Why? Because in our part of the world, almost everything you have to depend on prayer. Okay, if you are sick, you have to pray. You want water, you have to pray. You want light, you have to pray. Anything at all, you have to pray. Then they get to another side of the world where they don't see people praying that much, but things are moving on well. Okay, if you are sick, you have a good medical system in place to take care of you. If you're a farmer, you don't have to be praying for the rain to fall. You have an irrigation system that will help you deal with that and all that. So all these experiences, because he is coming from an environment where he was so dependent on the supernatural. When he gets to a place where the supernatural is not as reverenced like where it's coming from, most of them are not able to keep up with their faith. Okay, so you'll not find them going to church or anything. They even think it was a scam or a deception, the things that they believed in from where they are coming from. Okay, so sudden changes in life. Others who become more religious, more committed to supernatural stuff after, say, an accident. Okay, an accident happens, they see somebody like an angel coming to pull them out of the wreck, and then they coming back to their senses or life, and that changes their perception about things of God and so on and so forth. So it could be either way. Basically, the point I'm trying to establish is that sudden changes in life can also result in new beliefs. Okay. Some beliefs are formed on the basis of knowledge or research. I think we've established this earlier on. So knowledge could be another source of belief. We established in slide one that our belief will lead to values. Okay, so now we're coming to look at values. So values are individualized beliefs that influences how people behave. So you can get from this explanation where we are going, all right? So first we have beliefs. The beliefs will inform your values. Then your values will determine your behavior, all right? A dimension of an attitude is behavior. Later I'll look at attitude into details. So beliefs leads to values. Values leads to attitudes. In attitudes, we have behavior. Okay. So a value is anything which has utility or worth. So it's coming from our everyday understanding of value. something that we cherish. But in our context, the value may not just be in terms of monetary terms. It's worth 1 million or whatever. No, but it's something that we put a lot of weight on as something valuable. That is what we mean by value. Okay. So moral values are what we're focusing on within the context of ethics. So we have moral values like fairness, justice, honesty, and integrity. All right, are examples of what we can refer to as values in ethics. Then we have individual values, are commitments to which a particular person subscribes. So depend upon your belief system. All right, some people will hold on to say justice. Some are lean more onto honesty, whatever it is. Okay, so that is your individual value. Whatever that you think to be very, very important are things that people tend to lean on. So we have individual values, several examples of them. We can't go through all in terms of the explanation. So some believe in adherence to justice, all right? So when they see injustice, they feel uncomfortable. That is their value system. Some practice honesty under all situations. Some are hardworking. Hard work is a value for them. Sincerity to others, sacrifice. So for individual values, all of these things will be values that we can have. Okay. Significance of values. What are the importance of having values? So point 1 says the value system helps a person in making clear decisions. Okay. So if you have example, say honesty to be one of the values that you have as your personal value, then when you are torn between selling company resources or doing anything dishonest, you won't struggle to be able to make that decision. Okay, because already you've made up your mind that one of the values that you have in life is honesty. So it helps you in your decision making. You don't have to struggle because of the value systems that you have. Okay. The value system helps build the perception of an individual. Much earlier, I think Mami Sewa asked about perceptions, right? Yes. So your beliefs will shape your values will shape the perceptions that you have. And I was talking about gay marriage or same-sex marriage. The perception that you have mostly is based on your value system, the home you were raised from, and so on and so forth, and the value that you have about heterosexual marriage and so on will cause you to develop a perception when you see a man and a man seeking to marry, or a woman and a woman seeking to marry. So value systems will build the perception of an individual. A clear value premise helps a person arrive at flawless logical deductions and moral reasoning. So it's similar to point 1. Your value systems will help you in your moral reasoning, whether to do something or not do something. Most of the time, your interpretations of what to do and what not to do is based on your value system. It gives clarity of understanding to a person confronted with a situation. So the same idea. If I value integrity, I will not be in any dilemma to choose to do what is right, okay, if that's my value system. If I value hard work and I come to work and I'm torn between lazying about and working hard, I will not have any confusion as to the choice that I have to pick. Okay, so value systems are very good as they guide our everyday decisions. Types of values. So as I indicated much earlier, you need a text to be able to start reading and getting the import of all of these things quickly, especially with regards to the presentations. If you read the text, it will help you more in your explanations. So we have what is known as instrumental values. All right, the value which concerns the way we approach the end state. So instrumental values are not the end themselves, but they help us to be able to achieve the end that we desire. Okay, for example, hard work and achievement, or just hard work. We don't just work hard because we want to work hard. Most of the time, we work hard because we have some motives. Okay, any examples of what we can achieve with hard work? Anybody to help me? Why do we work hard? What do we seek to achieve by working hard? Yes.
Prof.
Yes, sir.
We work hard to be very successful in life.
Good. So success in life is actually the reason why some people work hard. Any other? And this success thing is like a big umbrella. Okay, if we can be more specific.
I think motivation too.
Motivation. No, the question is not why do we work hard in terms of what motivates us to work hard. But when we work hard, why do we work hard in terms of what do we want to achieve? Motivation is not something we want to achieve.
I'm not getting.
You are not getting me.
No.
When you go to work, okay, why will you want to put in your best compared to your colleagues? Why will you want to work harder compared to others?
Maybe my career path, to build on my career path.
What exactly do you mean by build on your career path?
So maybe you are being the incentives that when you work hard, you are entitled to get. So those incentives will motivate you to work hard.
Good. So I want examples of those incentives that will motivate.
So maybe let's say award scheme. We have salaries, increment.
Okay. Good. Gilbert, I can see your hand.
Yeah, Prof. Sometimes we work very hard if we want to put food on the table. So to be able to provide for the family, we have to work hard.
All right. And all of these things will fall under the generic description of successful life, right? Yes. So we don't work hard for the fun of it. So it's value, all right, but it is known as instrumental value because we're hoping that it will help us to achieve something at the end of the day. The same as education and intellectual pursuits. Okay, you guys are not paying fees and then wasting your time in quotes here because you just desire to learn. Okay, I'm sure behind your brains somewhere, you have the reason why you have enrolled onto this course, right? So there is the education and intellectual pursuit. It's actually based on something that you are hoping to achieve. Okay. So let's see one by one. What do we seeking? Why did we enroll? Daphne, is that the right pronunciation of your name, please?
It's Daphne, sir.
Ah, Daphne. Sorry, don't beat me. I'm sorry. No, Daphne. Why are you reading this program?
Because I want to further my path in the education pursuit. Like I want to go the next step further. So
why do you want to go the next step further?
Because it's believed that the more degrees or certificates you have under your belt, the closer you are to achieving success or being more successful in life, or having more money, or getting more advantages in life.
So now personalize the answer. Why are you reading the course or the program? Sorry.
Because I'm hoping to use my master's certificate to get a better position or a better paying job.
So yes, so the real reason is that you want a good job, assuming your job currently isn't good. So that is the end that you are seeking to achieve. Okay. So the education and intellectual pursuit really is just a means to get to the end. All right. And all of these points that we see there have similar explanations. So they are known as instrumental values. They are things that we aspire or hold dear because we hope that they will lead us to something far much greater than those values that we currently have. Okay, so education, intellectual pursuit, self-sufficiency and independence, truthfulness and honesty, being well-mannered and courteous towards others, being open-minded. They are not end in themselves, but they will help us to be able to achieve some end that we have in mind. So they are known as instrumental values. All right. Then we have what is known as terminal values. Okay, if we have understood instrumental values, we should be clear with terminal values. They are those end state goals that we praise, such as comfortable life, a sense of accomplishment, equality among all, etc. Okay, so once your goal is to achieve happiness, some people may, as I said, if you say successful, then it embraces all of these things. So the breakdown of successful life consists of these things that we're looking at. Okay, happiness and satisfaction in life, peace and harmony in the world, knowledge and wisdom. So these are really the end that some people may want to achieve by pursuing the instrumental values that we're talking about much earlier. So they are known as terminal values. Okay, the last point, security and freedom from threats. Most of the things that we're talking about, putting food on the table, catering for the family and money, they fall under security. This security is not necessarily armed robbers attacking you, but you are thinking about whether you can even get food to eat, your family will be well fed in order to keep them going as far as life is concerned. That then will cause you to want to work hard, okay? That will cause you not to engage in any fraudulent activity at workplace to cause you to be fired. So you are really honest or try to have some level of integrity, not necessarily because you will have loved to, but you have some values at the end that you want to achieve. So that is that for these two types of values. All right. There are several other types of personal values. As I said, I can't go through them all. You need to get the text as early as possible to be reading these things. Okay. Egocentric values. To what extent do you value yourself in terms of the self-interest that we spoke about much earlier? When you're making decisions, to what extent do you consider yourself? Okay. Sociocentric values with regards to others when you're making your decisions. Existential values, difficult word to pronounce, okay? To what extent do you think about the commonality of people in terms of their existence? Okay, right? These galamsey activities, some people are very passionate about it because of this value that they hold, the existence of human life and so on and so forth. All right, maybe let me explain the tribalistic values. So the tribalistic values is not necessarily being tribal as we understand it. All right, if I'm an Akan, then whatever. If I'm an Ewe, then this. No, the tribe here connotes your sense of community. All right, there are people that value being around people that are like-minded like them, people that share the same principles and so on and so forth. And in the ordinary or beyond the ordinary understanding of tribe, when we say these people are my tribe, what it means is that they are people that have the same sense of thinking and values as I have. So to what extent do you also put on value on tribalistic values and so on and so forth?